Yeah, that's true. However, I mean, I just hope that they don't mess up Aang because he's the main character, and I've heard a few snippets of his voice in the trailers, and he just sounds really, really stiff. And yeah, he is a child actor, so you got to give him a little slack. But at the same time, I thought the voice actor was great, and he was actually a 12-year-old boy too.
Oh, really?
So yeah, yeah. On the I don't remember his name. I'll send you in like a PM later, but he's actually quite young,
Yeah.
and he was terrific.
In most of the trailers, though, I think, and I haven't seen all the trailers. I try not to overdo it with those. But Aang is generally talking. He's in a serious moment in most of these, and so if he sounds stiff, that might be part of the problem. I don't know if they've showed any of those scenes, just to whet people's appetites.
Yeah, that's true. Hopefully that's the case. I hope he loosens up in other moments of the film.
Yeah. See, and people are all, because there are so many easily identifiable things in the cartoon to trailer thing. There are a lot of people just picking out little images. Oh, I just saw the I can't remember the name of the flying monkey thing. But Momo, thank you. And Appa. And that's almost funny. I mean, you're just the way they're doing that. Appa, by the way, I should point out, the one picture I did see of him though was actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
It was an action scene, but so he was looking aggressive.
He looked very scary for the sort of benevolent little fluff cloud that he was in the cartoon. That was quite shocking. So hopefully that's all that was an action pose, because he would do that in the cartoon. He would kind of roar and growl and get a little mean looking when he was angry, but that was a little extreme. You're right.
Yeah, it's just seconds from the trailer, so I don't want to nitpick on anything like that. But I just found that funny. Now, go on.
It's funny you mentioned Momo, because I didn't see him at all. I haven't seen anything of Momo from the trailer.
Oh yeah, that was just from one latest trailer snippet. I can't even remember where I saw it, but yeah, that was actually where my concern that they were looking a little cartoony came, because he was a little glossy or something. I'm not sure what to call it. Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. I haven't seen that yet.
Now, looking further into the series, I guess this is actually, this isn't so much about the movie, this is more about the series. What did you think of the end? I was actually talking with Shred Ninja about this, and then we kind of had a little discussion ourselves. What do you think of how the whole thing resolved?
Well, I had mixed feelings when I realized the direction that they were going into. But at the same time, I think that they did what they could when they were making a show whose target demographic is, something like 6 to 12-year-olds, where that you can't have the hero kill the villain. I would have liked for the dude to die. He's a horrible person, and it would have been cool if Aang had been able to kill the Fire Lord. But I sort of understood where they were going. However, I'm not sure having just a giant lion thing just showing up out of nowhere and teaching Aang the skill was proper. I don't know about that. What do you think?
Well, my thought on it is that, seasons 1 and 2, one of the issues you could bring up against it was that Aang could just go into the Avatar state and save the day. It was like the Deus Ex Machina you could rely on. And and at the end of season 2, he loses that ability, and for basically all of season 3, he has to do without, and that's where Aang really gets defined. And unfortunately, that was my issue at the end, is that lion turtle coming out and just giving him a new superpower was, and you don't even find out what the superpower is until he uses it, was another Deus Ex Machina, another kind of cheap thing.
Yeah,
and,
It was out of nowhere. It was a little too convenient, and it just sort of cheated the audience when we've been sticking, with his journey, his growth as a avatar or whatever. And that's not really what saved the day. His skills didn't factor into it at all, really.
I guess the one other thing, or the one, well, two counterpoints. First of all, like you said, they kind of did the best they could with what they had there. But two, you could also see it as being, well, no other avatar searched as hard for an alternative, cared as much as Aang did, and thus he is one of the very few that actually learned or was able to accept the knowledge, and
that
could,
is true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that could
that
be a
is
way of
true.
seeing it. What I wish they had done, and this is, I try not to go too much into this because it gets me into the fan fiction type thinking, but one of the concerns brought up by people thinking about how everything works in the world is that the Avatar thing cycles from through all the four nations, and Aang is the last Airbender.
Yeah.
What do you do with, what happens the next time it has to come back to an Airbender and there's basically no Air Nation?
Well,
With the
I've only had like two thoughts on that, and these are purely my speculation. So take it or leave it, if as you please. But my first thought was that, well, the world is sort of in balance now that they have a benevolent Fire Lord. Everyone's sort of together, so maybe the world doesn't need an Avatar anymore. However, the Avatar does other things other than you just, kick the bad guy out. They also are like the bridge between the spirit world, so I think they kind of need one.
Mm-hmm.
My thought was that perhaps, well, Aang's with Katara, so maybe they're going to have kids, but if Aang can take away a bender's ability, maybe he can endow people who aren't benders with bending ability.
Right,
now.
And that was my same thought, and I was thinking, that would have been a cool thing to add to make that Deus Ex energy bending power be a little bit more, to flesh it out a little bit, is if he were to start forming the Fire Nation or the Air Nation again with those guys from the Northern Air Temple, I can't remember any of their names, but the crippled kid would have made a great new Airbender,
Yeah, I remember them.
So that would have been a way to resolve that a little better.
Yeah, that would have been a cool thought. But and that's another thing that could have been done with just a couple of lines of brief interchange. But I'm sure that they were scrambling to get it all.
Right. That was already a four-part ending. I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was 4 parts, I believe.
Yeah, so that is a bit. You could go into every single corner, but that's not going to be practical.
Yeah. All right. So bottom line, do you have high hopes for the movie, or?
I refuse to have high hopes, but I'm going to allow myself the possibility of liking this film very much. That probably is cheating, but yeah. I'm looking forward to the film, whether I'm disgusted in the end or elated.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it, just based on what I've seen. Perhaps I'm setting myself up for disappointment, but we won't know until it's out.
All right. So it's been nice talking with you, and I hope our listeners are entertained.
Yeah, me too. I've had fun. Let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, I'm already going to start sitting out for Avatar 2 just so I can see Toph.
Okay, great.
All right,
have a good day.
Bye.